So it's a big difference, Key. As you know, we both know from experience that.
What number did Jay have?
But from experience, we both know when you go from, man defense to zone with kids. When that third kid comes and there are more kids, the kids outnumber the parents. That's when it gets a little hectic.
Yeah, he could afford
it. Meantime, speaking of hectic, I love watching you watch small quarterbacks run around.
Why?
Because you laugh at them. You have a certain disdain for short quarterbacks.
No, I don't. I wish you guys stop putting that narrative out there. I already got another fan bases that dislike me.
Narrative?
The Cardinals fan base, they can't stand me. Well, because it's the truth. The Dolphins fan base, they can't stand me. Well, because I tell the truth. They want me to agree with them. Those two fan bases, the Cardinals and the Dolphins, if they could light a match and burn me, they would.
You like Hendon Hooker, 6'4".
Oh, I'm not. You think I'm the only person?
No, I like tall quarterbacks too.
I'm just the person that will say what it is and not try to gloss over it and make it seem like something different.
Does the hair make it better too? Because I do. I like Justin Herbert, 6'6" with the hair and the whole thing.
He cut his hair though. I think.
Yeah, he did.
Rookie year.
He still got it though. Something about it.
Yeah, but I mean, you could just see. I like Keller Murray too. Mm-hmm. I don't like the system.
Right.
And I've never liked the system.
No, I've seen you watch Kyler and go and do the thing where you go, oh, it's like a handoff.
I like Kyler. If he was in Seattle system, Kyle Shanahan system, if he was behind and with those guys, he'd be a much better quarterback.
Than with Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, my God, yes.
Well, they faced the Saints tonight, the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals. They're trying to snap an 8-game home losing streak. They get DeAndre Hopkins back. You know what's funny, Key? A lot of times you think the one, other than the quarterback, obviously, the one player that you need for that system to work at a high level is a number one receiver.
Yeah.
Like you see when that if you the backup running back behind a good offensive line looks kind of like the starter, not exactly, but he can get it done. When you don't have a number one receiver, there is a big difference. So how much of the fact that DeAndre Hopkins hasn't been there, how much of that is the reason they haven't looked like they have early in the season the last couple of years?
I don't think that's the case because, I mean, he's missed time in the past and things seem to be a little bit different. But when he's been in there, it's been pretty much the same. He's going to get his touches.
They were winning.
They started off hot, then they fade toward the end of the season.
Yeah, they get beat up, but at least they're winning in the beginning.
But a lot of it is on the sideline. It's the coaching. Okay, you can't pay a guy the type of money that you pay to Kyler Murray and not be able to protect him, not be able to understand how to utilize him. This is the National Football League. This is not SMU playing Texas Tech.
It's not air raid.
This is not Lubbock, Texas. This is the National Football League. They have guys that sit around with gray hair, with dandruff on their sleeves. They're about 70 years old, and all they do is sit up all night long trying to figure out how to defend offenses. Those are called defensive coordinators. Guys like Wink Martindale, they sit around, and that's all they do. Rex Ryan, they chew all night long on pencils trying to figure out how to stop that.
Steelers for you.
Dick LeBeau.
If I'm a head coach,
Crennel, Bill Belichick, Mike Tomlin, they just sit around literally all day long, don't want to be home and don't want to do things. They just want to know how to stop people.
Warren Sharp, who I love, Sharp Analytics. Key hates the analytics. I love him. I love Warren Sharp's analytics. Into the fourth year with Cliff Kingsbury in a quarterback draft, number one overall. The cost-controlled cap hits for 4 straight years, 26, 28, and 1. They're under 500, one winning season, no playoff wins. Surely Robbie Anderson is the missing piece. Just getting clowned.
But don't clown Robbie Anderson.
No, he's not clowning.
No, I understand.
Yeah, he's just saying.
Don't throw Robbie Anderson in the mix. Robbie Anderson just go because he can't stand the Carolina Panthers.
I don't see it that way. He's just saying, look, Robbie Anderson ain't going to fix it.
I get it. And neither is Deshaun Hopkins. Neither is DeAndre Hopkins. We sure could screw up some names. But neither is Hopkins. Hopkins is going to get his. But again, when you have a quarterback that you pay this type of money to and he is your running back essentially. What you have him doing on 3rd and 4th down is go try to get us the first down, run around. No adjustments. He looks lost at times as a head coach on the sideline. He is in over his head. And look, I'm not calling for the man's job. It ain't my job to call for his job. But I do know that Steve Wilks, black or white, got fired after 1 year. You never gave him an opportunity that you've given Cliff Kingsbury, sitting at 26, 28, and 1. And you extended him another 5 years at close to $6 million a year.
Of course. You know why?
Well,
You know why? He's not Eric Bieniemy. That's all you have to say, and then you get a contract.
It's ridiculous how some owners and general managers think in the National Football League, and I will always say that, whether you agree with me or not.
It's funny you bring up those old D coordinators. If I'm a head coach, who I want as my D coordinator is a dude who's not trying to be head coach. He's been in the league a million years. All he wants to do is geek out, scheming up the defense. That's it.
And I forgot about
Dick LeBeau, perfect.
I forgot about Wade Phillips and Monty Kiffin.
Yeah, right.
In the late Jim Johnson from the Philadelphia Eagles. That's all they did. That's all they did.
So Kyler Murray has some thoughts on getting DeAndre Hopkins back.
It seems like every time you see him, out on the field, it's like there's a reason why he's the best, and I'm excited for him. Excited to be able to throw him the ball again. You know what I'm saying? Never took that for granted, but man, I'm just happy for him. Team is definitely appreciative of having him back.
And he is correct. Kyler Murray is correct about that. They will connect, and they will do some great things, but it's not going to come down to those two.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to call it serviceable enough. Now, they had the Cincinnati Bengals down to the wire last week. In Cincinnati, they were beating them up and winning, and then Cincinnati made a nice run, and they wind up winning the game. But when I look at that coaching staff, there's no Jameis Winston, there's no Michael Thomas, there's no Jarvis Landry, no Lattimore. They missing pieces. But they figured, Taysom Hill a couple weeks ago. They like, we got Taysom Hill, man, let's just use that. Cliff Kingsbury hadn't figured that out. They haven't figured. They trade for Hollywood Brown, and then they don't make him a success in the passing game. They throw him a few balls, and that's it. Like, I just don't get it. But look, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have a job. It's not me. I'm gonna have a job.
You know what's funny? Like, you think about like the Saints coaching staff, or you think about the Giants coaching staff now. And then you think about guys like Kingsbury, who have this reputation of being creative and inventive and everything. But in fact, it's the Saints and the Giants who play a more conservative brand of football, who in fact are very creative in terms of the way they use their personnel when they need to pick up a first down, when they're in the red zone. Watch the way those teams are coached, to your point. And in spite of the reputation that the young hotshots have of being creative, it's the more conservative approach that actually runs out the creative plays when they need them.
I'll close with this, as they would say in church. When this first took place with Cliff Kingsbury and this air raid, people just tried to murder me for saying it wasn't going to work in the NFL. 4 years later, is it working, Max?
No. I mean,
okay.
Warren Sharp, analytics says it's not working, right?
That's what I'm just saying.
More likely to get things turned around, Key says, the Saints over the Cardinals because of the coaching staff. Who's more likely to turn things around, Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? After this word from Bosley. Usually Jay reads this, but I'm going to read this today.